Advice for you today. This is to turn it off. Turn off the noise. Turn off the social media. Turn off the videos. Even if you say you're consuming Christian content, turn it off. We've been governed. We've been manipulated. We've been controlled. Our minds fixated on the next video. The next video. And we have not grown any richer, any wiser, any better. So, for just a minute, turn it off. I have had a moment where I just sat in silence or did things in silence, but I was still. Be still and know your Lord God. Be still. What is the verse? Someone knows the verse. Look it up for yourself. But it's just a lot of content, and you're not. Time is going by while you consume that content, being entertained, being so-called aware, but what are you really aware of? Really, except the next thing, because there's always a next thing. There's a next distraction. There's a next problem. There's a next non-solution. And perhaps we just need to really focus on reality. Really see what's in front of us, what's around us. A long time ago, was on YouTube, and I just consumed these prophets speaking on kingdom spouses, kingdom finances, kingdom and all that other stuff. That God's gonna bless you if you remain faithful, if you fast, if you do all this other stuff, and He's gonna bless His people with millions of dollars and all this stuff. He's gonna give you a new car. A new house, all this other stuff. Which is, if you were not green like me, you would already know that it was the prosperity, but in a different packaging. And I believed, and I gave, and I would tune in to the next episode of Prosperity Gospel, YouTube prophets, and even hoping for this kingdom spouse, this kingdom helper, the supposed wife that God has for you. And it's been probably like 5 years, maybe. Not 5 years. Maybe 3. I don't know. nothing has become of it. And it's disheartening. It's very disheartening. And you look at the people, and you look at this world, and you think, why would it happen now? And the Bible, there's always been echoes of things that's happened. Like things repeatedly happening. The nation, Israel, get in trouble, God rescues them after a certain length of time. So maybe that's that, a certain length of time. Hundreds of years. And then God says, I've heard my people cry out, and all this other stuff. But noticing what is going on around the world this time, and noticing my own life as I continue to fall in pits, and nothing seems to change, regardless of that consumption of prophetic words and all that other stuff. What worked for me back in 2011, 2012 was that I had a job. I had the finances. I didn't have the wisdom, so I didn't save up. Or I used to have the wisdom where I could save up, but I didn't have it at the time of a serious event. After that event happened, which is God related, wisdom escaped me, and I made foolish decisions. And the only thing that's keeping me afloat is the wisdom that I used to have. Being very watchful of my finances, trying not to be emotional to where I make foolish decisions on buying things and stuff like that. The only other thing I need to work on is fasting. I used to eat one time a day when I was very young, when I was younger. In words, I was getting in shape, I walked a lot. I did all these things, and all I did was just listen to music. But now I'm just occupied with, after years and years of just watching videos and realizing that it really doesn't matter. Yeah, you know what things are going around, supposedly, because again, these videos are given to you through algorithms. So you think a world is moving a certain way, you don't understand why are people moving this way, but then you get in actual society when you have to go to the store and stuff, people still move in a certain way and you don't know why. Like last time I went to Walmart, people were just so rude for some reason. But then when you think about it, people are going through a lot of stuff, and it has to do with finances and stuff. The more people stress, the more people buy, and more people can't get their finances together because people are so stressed and don't want to deal with the life that's become. Can't afford a car. Like, what is that? Like the car that you used to be able to afford, you can only buy a junk car, a car that's already out of commission. You can buy the shell for what you could have bought an actual working car a couple of years ago. And then the whole tariff thing that was supposed to give the American people back more money, supposed to be checks and all that stuff, which I just I ignored initially, because there was a lot of whispers of, checks and stuff like that, but there was nothing ever official happening. And then taxes, which, you're supposed to get more back than you ever would. And then that doesn't seem to be true either. So, just a lie. That's why I would have preferred a quiet life. That I do prefer a quiet life. But I just ended up being dependent on these videos, and because I was alone. I needed something to occupy my mind. And that's what you do when you're alone and have barely enough resources. And I hate barely having resources. I miss having a good paying job, a really good paying job. I mean, my job right now pays good, but back then I could, and it has to do with the economy too, still, but I could, pay my rent, pay my car note, pay my insurance, pay everything, and I still have a good bit left, now it's like, what's the general thing is, what's the point? What's the point, And I don't want to bum you out. This is a TED Talk. This is something like that. There's not much people going to look at this anyway, but especially if I'm telling you to turn it off. Yeah, watch this video and then turn off watching videos and all that stuff, your TikToks, your Instagram, your Facebook, and all that other stuff. Turn all that off, because it's not even doing you good. But then when you turn it off, never mind. We are in the same boat. If your algorithm is pointing you to this video, then you're probably just as tired as me. A Christian will say, Christians will say, be not worried. Be not weary. I forgot. I think that's it. Give me one more second. Let's see if I can pull something else. Excuse me. If you like to support, don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. Yeah, that's it. 9.